Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be checking out this little cool effect that I created in a recent video of mine, and I had a lot of you guys asking me how I created this effect. It's pretty simple, but it's kind of complex with how you go about creating it, so let's just jump into it. Be sure to click that thumbs up and subscribe because I'm going to be making some more stuff in the future. As you can see, we have two clips that we're going to be working with. One is a drone video from a low angle following myself walking, and then the other one is simply a straight down drone video shot of a road. Now you can apply this technique towards any video, however, I'm just showing you this as an example. First, let's talk about what we want to accomplish. I want to remove this sky and all of the extra stuff. All I really want from this video is the road and myself walking. Now there's multiple ways of doing that. However, I would mask out what I want. So for the first mask, I'm going to click on the free draw bezier under opacity and start drawing wherever I want. You'll notice that I can't draw outside the image, so I'm actually going to come down here to fit, select zoom level, and change it to about 25%. That'll give me more space to work with. So I'm just going to click out here in the open, and then also click towards infinity, where I want the road to just end. I'm also going to make sure this point right here is flat. I'm also going to come back over here, click out there, come down here, over here, and finish the completed mask. As you can see right away, that honestly just kind of took everything away, but I am disappeared. So what we have to do is actually hold Alt on our keyboard and click on this video layer and drag it up. We're copying and pasting it on top of each other. Now what we want to do is click on the top video layer and delete that mask. Once we have that mask deleted, we can come back down here to the zoom level and change it to fit. I'm going to select on the create ellipse mask, and then I'm going to drag that around my body. Right here sounds good. I'm also going to increase the mask feather just a tiny bit so it blends a little bit easier. Now we have this little video. What I need to do is actually remove this sky. So here is where the fun thing happens. Make sure our top video with our mask is selected, and then go to the effects. Type in Luma key. Drag that Luma key onto your top video layer, and then go to the Effects Controls tab. Make sure your threshold is 0, and we're going to play with the cutoff. You want to drag your cutoff to the right until your blacks start disappearing. But one thing you'll notice is that we can't really tell when the blacks are disappearing because we have a black background. So what we need to do is click both of our video layers and drag them up. And this is when we're going to take our top-down drone video and make sure it's behind everything. So this way we can go back to that top video layer and then play with the cutoff again. So go back down to 0 and start dragging it to the right till we lose all the highlights and our black starts to fade. So somewhere around 84% looks good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to play with the threshold. Most of the time you'll drag the threshold all the way to 83%, but we don't want to go above that. So we'll keep dragging it, and I think around 82% looks good for me. So right now, if I play this back, that's kind of the basics of what this effect is. However, there's going to be a few things that I would like to show you guys to increase the quality of this effect. You'll notice that the edge of our mask within our road actually will change when our video changes. So if our video moves around, our mask is not moving. So over here, we still have the white line. Over here, the white line is gone versus when it was here in the very beginning. So all you have to do is click on the mask on this layer and basically adjust the mask path. We can also play with like the feather to feather this out more and create some interesting effects. I like to keep it at 15, and then I'm just going to keyframe the mask path, go towards the end, and then select the mask, and then also, since I can't see the corner, I'm going to have to change the fit to 25 so I can see the corner, and just drag that up a little bit to my own preference. I'm going to drag this side up to a little bit. Now that we go through there, we can see that the mask is actually going to move with our image just so our white lines are staying there the whole time. I also noticed that up here, the white line's getting lost, so I can go back to that original mask by clicking this arrow and then change the mask path down here a little bit to the right. Now, if we go back to fit, we can check out our video and see what is going on. Another little thing that you guys will have to play with, and it's going to be completely dependent on your video, is how well this line lines up with that line and this one over here. All you have to do is click on your background video and change the position and basically keyframe it by selecting this keyframe button. And you can drag it left or right. But remember, if you drag it left or right, you would have to scale it up first. So we're going to change this to 1:15. And now we have that clip to work with. So we can scale it right here. And then we can go through a little bit in the clip and see where it's moving to. I think it shifted to the left. We're going to shift it back to the right and then go to the end a little bit and make sure it's fitting in place. And just add another keyframe and then space these out accordingly, and it should be fine. So that is the overall effect. One more thing to increase the quality of our mask around ourselves is basically clicking on the mask that we created around ourselves and keyframing this as well by selecting the mask path and clicking toggle animation. Once you click that, you have the ability to select on the mask and drag these mask lines anywhere you want. You'll notice that once we drag it in, we start to get rid of these little black lines, and we can even click on our zoom thing right here and zoom in to 200%. And if you use these lines, you can move around your image to get a better quality mask. Now, to keyframe the mask is simple. You would go to the next frame and then drag these lines anywhere in or out. You'll notice if we drag it in too far, we'll start to feather out our body. And we can click anywhere on the mask to add another keyframe to basically allow us to make this mask completely customizable. Now keep in mind, since our feather is up so high, we might want to lower our feather just so we have a more customizable mask. Now you guys can understand the rest of the process. You go another frame and then you start dragging these lines everywhere just so you mask out your object that you're trying to mask. All you have to do is go back to the zoom and click fit, and then you'll see your whole video again. So one last tip to take this video to the next level would be to add some overlays. So I'm going to show you this one I found online. I literally just looked up 4K fog overlay, and the first video that popped up was this one from Premium Beat, and they have 21 free 4K fog overlays. I will link that video in the description below, but once you download the pack, you'll see something like this. It's basically a pack full of various types of fog. Now, all of these fog types are on a black background, so it's pretty easy to put into your video. For example, I'm just going to drag the slow atmospheric fog into my timeline. You'll see that we have this clip right here. All we have to do is drag that on top of our video layer, and then we'll have a fog layer. We're going to drag this line over here down so we can have more room to work with. All we have to do is click on that fog layer and go up to the Effects Controls tab and change the blend mode to screen. Now, screen actually does a nice effect with clearing out the black, but you can also play around with lighten and color dodge and pretty much any of these blend modes to get that desired effect that you are looking for. I found that screen works the best. Most of the time, I'll change the percentage to around 50% as well. So now if we play this back right away, this is exactly what I did for my video. One step that you can do to increase the quality of this fog is to basically position the scale. Since we are zooming in while we're walking, we're going to want to also zoom into our fog. So we're going to start with it at 100% right here at a keyframe. And then as we go on, we want the fog to get bigger so it looks like we're walking into the fog. We'll notice that once we get to the end, we also want to fade out this fog. Add a keyframe and then go to the end and change the opacity to 0 just so it blends out nice and smooth. And as you can see, our fog layer will slowly disappear. So that's it for the tutorial, guys. You can honestly duplicate as many fog layers as you want to create a lot of depth, but hopefully you learned something today. And if you did, smash that like button and subscribe because I'm going to be making some more stuff in the future. I'll see you next time.